Hey there guys and girls, and welcome to the latest edition of Almost Interesting. Today's show is going to kind of build off last week where I talked about some other projects that I'm thinking about doing. I don't really have a direct topic that I wanted to talk about this week, so I decided to do a little test instead. What's going to follow is going to be my first episode review for Power Rangers Super Megaforce. If the series does well and I get a lot of responses and people like it, I will go ahead and work it in as a regular series. I mean, in addition to Almost Interesting, I would add it in, yes, a fourth project, but these aren't terribly hard to do. Write a little review, record it, put in some pictures. It doesn't take that long, so I think I'd be comfortable working that in. So let's see how this goes. Let's do this. Hi there everyone, and welcome to my first Power Rangers episode review. Sean! First of all, I just want to go ahead and establish some things now right here at the beginning. First of all, though I may mention Super Sentai and compare how something was done compared to something else, this series is not in any way intended to be a comparison between Power Rangers and Super Sentai. This is simply reviews of Power Rangers episodes themselves standing on their own. Second of all, copyright is an important concern, so I will not be using any video. Finally, I do realize I am not the first person to have this idea. I just watched Andre's Black Nerd review of Super Megaforce just now. If you search YouTube for Super Megaforce reviews, you're going to see a ton. The thing about episode reviews is that anybody can do them and they all might have a different opinion. So it's not really copying because you can't copy your own opinion. This is what I think of these episodes, and you're not going to find my opinion anywhere else. Alright, with all those things established, let's do this. So, why don't we start things off with a quick overview. Power Rangers Super Megaforce is the continuation of the story of the previous season, Power Rangers Megaforce. In this way, it's similar to Samurai and Super Samurai. But while Samurai and Super Samurai adapted the same season of Sentai, Shinkenger, Megaforce adapted Goseiger, while Super Megaforce adapts the season that followed that, Gokaiger, which means the team is getting new suits, new Zords, new weapons, etc. We're gonna get to that. So here's my review of the first episode of Power Rangers Super Megaforce, which is very creatively titled Super Megaforce. So we start off with a recap of the previous season, Megaforce. The Messenger is defeated, Vrock goes into hiding, but the Armada has reached Earth, and Robo Knight has vanished. The Rangers run as the Armada attacks them and the city. The villains are led by Prince Vikar, Vrock's brother, and his generals Argus and Levira. They discuss how Earth barely put up a fight, and that they believe that Vrock has been lost in battle. From there, we jump right into the opening sequence, and I actually kind of don't like this. We see the new suits, we see the new Zords, we see the keys and how they can change into other teams. It gives away a lot of stuff that in the story we're not supposed to know yet. Although I do suppose that it does it in enough of a quick and flashy way that the kids are going, "Whoa, what was all that?" The intro also seems to give us some new character aspects that we're going to see in the upcoming season. Though Troy, Gia, and Noah all seem to be the same, Emma seems to be practicing martial arts, and it also looks like she's going to start working at Ernie's. Jake is also seen practicing martial arts, and while he's wearing black in his character shot, he does have a green glow. Oh, and the first team that we see them change into in the intro is Mighty Morphin. Because of course it is. After the opener, we see the next wave of the attack. The Grunts, which are called X-Borgs, are sent down with a monster, I don't even think he has a name, to continue attacking the city. I really like this part of the episode because it shows that there has been actual damage in the city. We see Emma as the Pink Megaforce Ranger fighting some of the X-Borgs in the torn-up mall and rescuing Ernie. We then see Noah as the Blue Rangers taking care of some in the torn-up school, rescuing some students and asking them to help out by taking care of the school. We then see a worn-down Ranger team trickle back into the command cave, and interestingly enough, each of them seems to freak out as the next Ranger comes in, thinking that they were followed by enemies. But I guess it goes to show that they are concerned and a bit overwhelmed by the strength of this attack. We're shown some Sentai footage on a screen that says, yes, things have rocketed southward, and we fully established that the Warstar aliens from the previous season were just the tip of the spear, the opening wave of the full invasion. Once everybody has shown up, it's new power time! Gosei then gives the Rangers their new legendary morphers and keys, calling it Super Mega Mode. He also reveals to them that the Ranger figurines that line the sides of the cave are actually keys! Surprise! And that they can now access Legend Mode, morphing into any of the Power Rangers that came before them, although changing into a previous Power Ranger will challenge their strength. In a nice tongue-in-cheek moment, Jake asks why his key is green when he is the Black Ranger. All of the other Rangers' keys match their current colors. Gosei tells him that there's a very simple explanation for this. There's then an attack, and we don't get to hear it. You teasers. So the Rangers go running out of the command cave, and we see the villains ordering another attack. The monster and more X-Borg show up and push around some civilians. The Rangers show up and tell them to stop, and get actually a nice little tough-looking slow walk-up. Gia says that they should change into Ultra Mode, and Troy says, no, not Ultra, Super Mega. It's time to see the new powers. This is actually the first time in Power Rangers history that we've had one continuous storyline use the suits from more than one season. So for the very first time, we get a morphing sequence from one suit to another suit. An X flies into the Rangers, removing their Megaforce suits and leaving the black undersuit of Super Mega Mode. Then another X flies in, placing on the rest of the Super Mega suit. The two X's then fly back in from behind and form the helmets. For the record, the two X's stand for 20, as this season is the celebration of the 20 years of Power Rangers that came before it. We get a nice opening fight which showcases the Rangers' standard abilities in Super Mega Mode, as well as their tendency to switch weapons. Each Ranger starts off with one saber and one gun, but Jake and Emma tend to use two guns, while Gia and Noah tend to use two swords. Gia gets an amazing God of War style saber whip attack with her swords. Then came the moment that a lot of us were waiting for as they used Legend Mode for the first time. In a shining example of using the footage that works over fan indulgence, the first team that they change into is not Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's the team of Rangers that came before them, Power Rangers Samurai. When the Rangers access Legend Mode, the team that they're using has their figurines light up in the command cave. Which I suppose means there's two sets of keys? Anyway, this gives Tenso a very Alpha 5 like they're doing it scene, and Gosei declares it a historic moment for the Power Rangers. The team changes into Power Rangers Samurai with the call Go-Go Samurai, and then say Power Rangers Samurai. After a very short fight as the Samurai Rangers, they decide to change again. Magical Source, Mystic Force. Power Rangers, Mystic Force. By the way, this team change gives us our first gender bend suit of the year, as Mystic Force's Blue Ranger, Maddie, was a girl, but Noah is a boy. Get ready for some weird looking suit changes this year. The monster blasts the Rangers back to Super Mega Mode, which allows Troy to say that yes, it is harder to hold on to. They kick the monster's butt and then defeat him by placing their keys into their sabers and using a slashing attack called Final Strike. Boom goes the Monster Might, and the Rangers have their first win in Super Mega Mode. By the way, after all of this happening, we're only about 15 minutes in. We get a really weird scene with the villains right after this. Vikar says, "So, a Power Ranger did this to my general?" Apparently not aware that it wasn't one, but 5 Rangers that defeated him. Then Vikar's other general, who honestly to this point hasn't been named, says, "Yes, apparently?" in a really unsure tone. We get a brand new commander, and it's time for battle once again. The commander blows up some buildings, the X-Borg shoot at some civilians, and the Power Rangers show up already in Super Mega Mode. Interestingly, the commander remarks that the Rangers look different, even though he's never seen them before. A new, tougher blue grunt shows up, but they aren't named either. The Rangers clean up the grunts, the monster attacks them, and the Rangers switch to Power Rangers SPD, although they do not say SPD Emergency. After SPD, they switch to Power Rangers Ninja Storm, although once again, they don't say Ninja Storm Ranger form. More on this later. This team also features 3 gender bends in a 5-Ranger team. Blue goes from girl to boy, and yellow and navy go from boy to girl. Seeing the Ninja Storm Rangers with this kind of a lineup is weird. The team then pulls off one of the neater tricks of having this kind of power, as all 5 of them become Red Rangers from the past. Troy becomes Samurai Red, Noah becomes Wild Force Red, Gia becomes Mystic Force Red, Jake becomes Overdrive Red, and Emma becomes Jungle Fury Red. Now, obviously, Jungle Fury and Mystic Force are gender swaps. What's interesting about this scene is that the scene that they're adapting from Gokaiger used Gosei Red instead of Boken or Overdrive Red. But Goseiger is Megaforce, and seeing as this is supposed to be a power-up of Megaforce, it wouldn't have made much sense for them to be using that suit. Kudos to the show for catching that and actually filming some original footage to get around it. Gia and Jake place the commander inside a fire tunnel. Noah and Emma beat up on it with their similar cat-themed martial arts powers, and then Troy slices it up with the spin sword. He drops a great line, "At least it took 5 teams to beat me!" and then blows up. Lavera reveals that she has some new technology to test out called the Maximizer. It improves on the Zombats by being able to enlarge more than one monster at a time. She makes the commander and the 3 blue grunts big. Before the Rangers can wonder how they're supposed to use their Zord cards in this form, the Zord cards aren't mentioned. Gosei calls and says, "Hey, new Zords and a nifty skyship." Troy summons the skyship with the code 5501 on his morpher. It's Gokaiger footage, but I'm wondering if the code will have any significance at some point. They didn't have to show it. The Rangers hop onto the skyship and then blast the monsters with the cannons. The skyship then releases the Rangers' other Zords, which are all stored inside it. Gia's Super Mega Wheeler, Emma's Super Mega Sub, Noah's Super Mega Jet, and Jake's Super Mega Racer. The Rangers blasted the monsters with their individual Zords, and then Troy figures out how to form the Megazord. They form the legendary Megazord, complete with a nice pirate hat that it pulls on. CGI Megazord jumps around and slices up some of the bad guys. The monster then grabs the wheel on the Megazord's back, which actually activates the cannons. The Rangers then use their Super Mega Final Strike, which is called Super Mega Starburst. It fires off all of the cannons, and Super Mega, Super Mega, Super Mega... The episode wraps back up at the school where the unmorphed Rangers check in and find the students that were rescued earlier have everything back up and running and under control, except that they need a teacher. Noah convinces Mr. Burley, who apparently is the only teacher the entire school has, to come back and teach class. He gives a nice inspiring speech about the human spirit that references Troy and the first episode of Megaforce. Unfortunately, Troy is not there to witness this, as he is apparently cutting class. We see his desk empty, and then we see him standing on a rocky beach. He recalls when Robo Knight gave him his gun, and then he asks aloud where Robo Knight is. And Fiend. It's kind of clear, even if you didn't watch Gokaiger, that they took 2 separate episode storylines and combined them into one for this episode. But it worked out pretty well. The writing has improved slightly, although there were still some pretty cheesy puns. Overall, it was a fast-paced adventure type of an episode, and I think that bodes well for the overall pace of the season. There are some questions, though. The reason that Jake's key is green is, as we mentioned, unanswered, although I do like that they at least mentioned it. The use of Legend Team's morphing calls is abandoned mid-episode. I really do hope they go back to that. I do like them using that. It's a nice touch. And the fact that the Rangers use Power Rangers SPD is actually a little bit of a plot hole, because in the timeline, SPD doesn't become before them, but actually far, far, far after them. I'm guessing that they're going to say something about Bridge having come back for once a Ranger, and that linking those powers back earlier in the timeline to the morphing grid, or something, And yeah, I really would have rather had the figurines disappear from the command cave as the team uses them, rather than have them glow in the command cave and technically be in 2 places at one time. Well, since I'm getting a double dose of pirates right now, since I'm also playing Assassin's Creed 4, let's judge these episodes on the number of black flags that they raise, along with some pros and cons. Episode 1, Super Megaforce. Pro, fast-paced, exciting, good use of powers. Con, a bit rushed, some unanswered questions, some bad puns. Super Megaforce raises 3 black flags out of 5. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. What did you think of the episode? Leave some comments below and let me know. This is actually an episode of my vlog, Almost Interesting, but if I get enough feedback on this, I will do this as a separate video series every week that we have a new episode. So if you want to see more, leave some comments below and let me know. Thanks so much for watching Almost Interesting this week. Make sure to like the video by clicking the like button right down below. Leave me some comments. Share this video with everybody you know, especially Power Rangers fans. Subscribe to the channel to see Almost Interesting, and now I suppose these reviews every week. And make sure to follow me at SeanF125 on Twitter. Stay tuned for Almost Good, my bloopers. I will include bloopers for the episode reviews, but I'll call them something else. And until next time, we'll see you then. Bye. It's blooper time. So let's. The opening sequence gives away a lot of things that we don't. After the opener, we see the next wave of the attack. I guess it shows that they're concerned and a bit overwhelmed by the strength of this attack. Super Mega Mode. Nah. This is the first time that we've had one storyline adapt more than but the previous team that came before them, Power Rangers Samurai. And I forgot the rest. When they're accessing and using legend power. The team morphs into the Samurai Rangers by saying with the nah. Boom goes the Monster Might, and the Rangers have their first win is the commander blows up the buildings. The commander blows up the buildings. We get more weapon switching, and this actually makes Emma really amazing when she uses 2 guns. And nope, it's not there. Blue Tupper Grunt. The Blue Tupper Grunt and SPD. I can't remember that half of the paragraph. When the commander... Troy, Jake, Nia. It improves on the Zombats by being, by enlarging, yeah. It improves on the Zombats by being enabled, before the Rangers can wonder how they're supposed to summon their Zord, complete with a nice pirate hat that it pulls on. Noah goes and finds Mr. Burley, who apparently is the only teacher the entire school has, and convinces him instead. And then he, son of a biscuit-eating fart muncher! The episode wraps up, yep. He gives a very inspiring speech about, I don't know what the speech was about, I was asleep. It does a good job of introducing the villains, although one general and that blue grunt are not named. Yeah. The writing has improved so leave me some comments and let me know what's going on. Once again, let me know what's going on? Subscribe to the channel, share the video, comment, subscribe, do a dance, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Amazon.com, this guy, just anything. Share this video with everybody you know. Subscribe comes after share.